Welcome. You are here because you're looking for something. Maybe it's an answer, maybe it's a sign, or maybe you're just tired of the noise. We live in a world that screams at us. Buy this, hustle harder, sleep less, win more. But in the rush to get somewhere, we often forget where we are actually going. Over the course of this series, I'm going to share 55 stories with you. Some you may have heard in passing, whispered in boardrooms, or shared over coffee. Others might be entirely new, but all of them are designed to do one thing: stop you in your tracks. Let's begin with the concept of value. What are you worth? Not your bank account, you. Story 1. The 100 Hamburger. It was 2015 San Francisco. A young college graduate named Alex was desperate. He had a degree, a mountain of student debt, and zero connections. He wanted to work for a specific tech mogul, let's call him Mr. Vance, who was known for being impossible to reach. Alex had sent emails, nothing. He had applied online, the void. Most people would have quit. They would have said, "He's out of my league." But Alex understood something about America. Money talks, but audacity screams. Alex found out that Mr. Vance's consulting rate was $5,000 an hour. Alex had $100 left in his bank account. It was his grocery money for the month. He wrote a check for $100 and mailed it to Mr. Vance's personal assistant with a note. The note read, "Mr. Vance, I know your time is worth $5,000 an hour. I cannot afford an hour. But I have enclosed a check for $100. According to your rate, that buys me exactly 72 seconds of your time. I will be in the lobby of your building on Tuesday at noon. I just need 72 seconds to buy you a hamburger and ask one question." Tuesday came. Alex stood in the lobby sweating in a cheap suit, holding a greasy paper bag from a burger joint. At 12 p.m. sharp, the elevator dinged. Mr. Vance walked out. He wasn't looking at his phone. He was looking for the kid with the hamburger. Mr. Vance laughed, shook Alex's hand, and said, "You paid for 72 seconds, but nobody has ever tried to buy me lunch before. Let's eat." They sat for an hour. 2 weeks later, Alex was hired as a junior analyst. Today, he's a partner at the firm. We often wait for permission to enter the room. We wait for the invite. Alex didn't wait. He realized that the gatekeepers are human, and sometimes the price of admission isn't talent. It's sheer, unadulterated guts. You don't get what you deserve in this life. You get what you negotiate. Story 2. The Silent Janitor. Let's move from the high rises of San Francisco to a small town in Ohio. For 40 years, Arthur was the janitor at the local high school. He was part of the furniture. He wore the same gray jumpsuit every day. He swept the halls, unclogged the toilets, and cleaned up the vomit after prom night. The teachers were polite but distant. The students barely looked at him. To them, Arthur was just the janitor, a background character in the movie of their lives. He drove a beat-up 1998 Ford truck and brought a ham sandwich for lunch every single day. When Arthur passed away in his sleep at age 82, the school principal received a call from a lawyer. The principal expected maybe Arthur had left a few $100s to the school for new mops. "Sit down," the lawyer said. "Arthur has left an endowment to the school scholarship fund." "That's very kind," the principal said. "How much?" $2.5 million. The principal dropped the phone. It turned out Arthur wasn't just a janitor. Every paycheck he made, he invested. He bought small, run-down houses in the neighborhood, fixed them up himself on weekends and rented them out. He didn't buy new cars, he didn't buy fancy clothes. He compounded his interest and his effort for 40 years. We live in an era of flex culture. If you don't post it on Instagram, did it even happen? If you don't drive a BMW, are you even successful? Arthur taught that town a lesson from the grave. Rich is loud, wealth is silent. Never judge a man by the stains on his clothes. Judge him by the discipline in his soul. Story 3. The Invoice. Speaking of value, let's talk about expertise. A massive shipping company in Seattle had a crisis. A giant ship engine, worth millions, had failed. It was dead silent. Every day the ship sat in the dock, the company lost $50,000. They hired mechanic after mechanic, no one could fix it. Finally, they called an old man named Peterson. He had been fixing steam engines since he was a boy. Peterson arrived carrying nothing but a small tool bag. He walked around the massive engine. He listened to the pipes, he touched the metal to feel the temperature. He hummed to himself. After 10 minutes, he reached into his bag and pulled out a small hammer. He found a specific red valve on the side of the engine. He tapped it once. Clang. He tapped it twice. Clang. Suddenly, the engine roared to life. The crew cheered. Peterson put his hammer away and left. A week later, the company received an invoice from Peterson for $10,000. The manager was furious. He called Peterson. "This is robbery. You were here for 15 minutes. You just hit it with a hammer. Send me an itemized bill or I won't pay." The next day, the new itemized invoice arrived. It read, "Tapping with a hammer, $2,000. Knowing where to tap, $9,198. In your career, you will meet people who say you charge too much. They will say, but it only took you 5 minutes. Smile at them. Remind them that it took you 10 years of struggle to learn how to do it in 5 minutes. They aren't paying for your time. They are paying for the years you spent learning where to tap." Story 4. The Rejected Script. But what happens when you know your value, but the world tells you no? There was a woman in the 1990s living on welfare. She was a single mother, depressed, and writing a story about a boy wizard on napkins in cafes because she couldn't afford heating in her apartment. She sent the manuscript to 12 major publishing houses. 12. The responses were brutal. Too long for children. Nobody is interested in wizards. Get a day job. She pinned every rejection letter to her kitchen wall, not to torture herself, but to fuel herself. She looked at those letters and said, "They are wrong." Finally, a small publisher in London agreed to print 1,000 copies, only because the CEO's 8-year-old daughter read the first chapter and demanded the rest. That woman was J.K. Rowling. Here is the brutal truth about the American dream, or any dream. It is paved with rejection. If you are hearing no, it doesn't mean you are failing. It means you are pushing against the status quo. Resilience isn't about not getting hit. Resilience is looking at the person who hit you and saying, "Is that all you got?" Story 5. The Intern's Voice. Let's shift gears to the modern corporate battlefield. A marketing firm in New York was failing. They were trying to sell a new energy drink to Gen Z, but their sales were flatlining. The boardroom was full of men in their 50s wearing $2,000 suits, staring at spreadsheets. "We need more TV commercials," one executive said. "We need radio ads," said another. In the corner of the room sat Sarah, a 20-year-old unpaid intern. She was only there to take notes and fetch coffee. She raised her hand. The room went silent. The CEO looked at her over his glasses, annoyed. "Yes, sir," Sarah said, her voice shaking. "Nobody my age watches TV, and nobody listens to the radio unless they are in an Uber. So what do you suggest?" The CEO sneered. "Give me the product," Sarah said, "and give me 24 hours with the company TikTok account. Just trust me." The executives laughed. TikTok? That dancing app? But they were desperate. They gave her the password. Sarah didn't make a commercial. She made a meme. She made a funny low-budget video mocking how tired students are during finals week, using the drink as the punchline. Overnight, the video got 4 million views. Sales jumped 300% in a week. Experience is valuable, yes. But in a rapidly changing world, perspective is power. The experts in the room were so busy looking at the old map that they didn't realize the territory had changed. Good ideas have no hierarchy. If the intern has the answer, put the intern in charge. Story 6. 2 salesmen in Florida. Speaking of perspective, let me tell you a classic fable modernized for the American market. A large shoe company sent 2 salesmen to a remote region in the Australian outback to open up a new market. The first salesman arrived, looked around, and immediately called headquarters. He was panicked. "Book me a flight home, this is a disaster," he yelled. "Nobody here wears shoes. They all walk barefoot. There is no market here." The second salesman arrived a few days later. He looked around at the same people, walking barefoot in the hot dust. He grabbed his phone and called headquarters, screaming with excitement. "Send me everything you have. Send me 10,000 pairs, ships, planes, hurry." "Why?" the boss asked. "Because," the salesman grinned, "nobody here has shoes yet. It's a gold mine." 2 men, same location, same facts, 2 completely opposite realities. One saw a problem, the other saw an opportunity. Your life is not defined by what happens to you. It is defined by the lens you choose to look through. Clean your glasses. Story 7. The empty calendar we wear busy like a badge of honor. How are you? "Oh, I'm so busy." We think busy means important. A young journalist once landed an interview with a billionaire investor, think Warren Buffett level. She expected to see him running around, phones ringing, assistants screaming. Instead, they sat in a quiet office. They drank cherry Coke. "Can I see your schedule?" she asked. "I want to know how a billionaire manages his time." He pulled out a small pocket diary. She opened it. Monday, thinking time. Tuesday, empty. Wednesday, haircut. Thursday, read annual reports. Friday, bridge game. She was shocked. "It's empty," she said. "You run an empire. How is this possible?" He looked at her and said, "You can't make good decisions if you are constantly reacting to emails. I keep my schedule empty so that when a truly great opportunity comes, I have the time to seize it. Busy people are reactive, productive people are proactive. If your calendar is full, you are not the master of your time. You are a slave to it. Space is where strategy happens. Silence is where genius is born. Stop trying to fill every minute and start trying to fulfill your purpose." Story 8. The Lemonade. Stand in the suburbs of Chicago. 2 kids set up lemonade stands on the same street right across from each other. First was Timmy. Timmy sold ice-cold lemonade for 50 cents. It was cheap, sugary, and basic. Across the street was Sophia. Sophia sold her lemonade for $2 4 times the price. Timmy laughed at her. "Nobody is going to buy that." But Sophia had a plan. She wasn't just selling liquid in a cup. She had a small speaker playing beach music. She put a little paper umbrella in every cup. and on every napkin she handwrote a joke. By noon, Timmy had sold 10 cups. He made $5. Sophia had a line down the block. People weren't buying lemonade. They were buying the smile, the umbrella, the vibe. They were buying a break from their day. Sophia made $100 in business and in life. Do not compete on price. Compete on value, compete on experience. Anyone can sell a commodity. Only a few can sell a feeling. If you make people feel good, price becomes irrelevant. Story 9. The Happy Quitter. We are told never to quit. Winners never quit and quitters never win, right? Let me tell you about Michael. Michael was a Wall Street trader. He made $400,000 a year. He wore Italian suits and drove a Porsche. He was also miserable. He worked 80 hours a week. He had ulcers. His hair was falling out at 28. He hated the person he was becoming. One day, in the middle of a high-stakes trade, he put down the phone. He walked into his boss's office and quit. His friends called him insane. "You're throwing away the dream," they screamed. Michael moved to a small town in Vermont. He opened a bakery. He wakes up at 4 a.m. to knead dough. He smells like yeast and cinnamon. He makes $40,000 a year now, not $400,000. But when you ask Michael if he regrets it, he smiles. A real smile, not a corporate grimace, and says, "I didn't quit working, I quit dying." Sometimes quitting is the bravest thing you can do. Quitting a job that drains you, a relationship that hurts you, or a path that isn't yours. Success isn't the number in your bank account. Success is liking the face you see in the mirror every morning. Story 10. The Free Advice. Finally, for this session, let's talk about boundaries. There was a famous surgeon, let's call him Dr. Evans. He was at a cocktail party. He was trying to relax, holding a drink, enjoying the music. A man approached him. "Doctor, so lucky to see you. My knee has been clicking lately." "What do you think it is?" Dr. Evans smiled politely and gave him a quick diagnosis. 10 minutes later, another guest. "Doctor, I have this rash." Dr. Evans gave advice again. The next morning, Dr. Evans went to his office and told his secretary to send invoices to the 2 guests from the party, $300 each. The guests were outraged. They called him. "We were at a party, you can't charge us," Dr. Evans replied calmly. "If you ask for my professional service, you pay my professional fee. It doesn't matter if I am in an operating room or a living room. My knowledge is the product." It sounds harsh, doesn't it? But Dr. Evans taught everyone a lesson that day. If you treat your skills as freebies, the world will treat you like a doormat. Generosity is good, but exploitation is not. If you are good at something, never, ever do it for free unless you choose to. We have covered the mindset of the hustle, the value of time, and the power of knowing your worth. But success is hollow if you are alone. In the next part, we will walk down the streets of humanity. We will look at kindness, judgment, and the invisible threads that connect us all. This is the American Chronicles. I'll see you in part 2. Welcome back. In part 1, we talked about the climb, money, career, and value. But you can be the richest person in the graveyard, and it won't matter if you walk through life alone. We are wired to connect. Yet in a world where we are more connected than ever digitally, we are drifting further apart physically. We judge quickly. We scroll past pain. The next set of stories is about the moments when we stop, look up, and actually see each other. Story 11. The Rude Waitress. It was 8 a.m. in a busy diner in Chicago. A businessman in a sharp suit sat down, checking his watch. He was late. He ordered coffee and toast. The waitress was a mess. She forgot the sugar. She spilled coffee on the saucer. She didn't smile. When he asked for a refill, she snapped, "I'm coming, hold on." The man felt the anger rising. He wanted to yell. He wanted to talk to the manager. He wanted to teach her a lesson about customer service. But then, he stopped. He really looked at her. He saw the dark circles under her eyes. He saw that her hands were shaking. He saw that her eyes were red and puffy. Instead of asking for the manager, he asked for the check. The bill was $12. He put a $100 bill on the table. On the napkin he wrote, "I can see you are fighting a battle today. I hope this helps you win it." He walked out. From the parking lot, he saw through the window. The waitress picked up the note. She read it. And right there, in the middle of the breakfast rush, she broke down sobbing. She had buried her mother that morning and had to come straight to work to pay the rent. Lesson. We judge people by their actions, but we judge ourselves by our intentions. That waitress wasn't rude, she was broken. Be kind. Everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle you know nothing about. Sometimes a little grace is the only thing holding someone together. Story 12. The Tattooed Biker. It was rush hour on a bridge in Florida. Traffic was bumper to bumper. Horns were blaring. In the middle of the chaos, an old woman's car had stalled. She was standing by the door looking terrified. Cars swerved around her. People in Mercedes and Teslas honked, screamed insults, and kept driving. They saw an obstacle, not a person. Then a deafening roar approached. A massive man on a Harley-Davidson wove through traffic. He wore a leather vest with a skull on the back. His arms were covered in tattoos. He had a long, scruffy beard and piercings. He looked like trouble. He pulled up behind the woman's car. He kicked down his kickstand. The woman flinched, thinking she was about to be robbed. The biker walked up to her, smiled gently, and said, "Go sit in your car, ma'am. I'll push. You steer." He pushed the car a quarter-mile off the bridge to safety. He waited with her until the tow truck came. When he left, the respectable businessmen in their suits were still stuck in traffic, honking. Lesson. Society teaches us to trust the suit and fear the tattoos. But character is not what you wear. It is what you do when no one is making you do it. Never judge a book by its cover, especially when that book is the only one helping you write a happy ending. Story 13. The Silent Ride. In the age of constant noise, silence is rare. A young woman named Sarah ordered an Uber after a terrible day at work. She was mentally exhausted. She just wanted to get home. The app notification popped up. Your driver is deaf or hard of hearing. Please text instead of calling. She got in the car. The driver, a man named David, nodded at her and smiled. He didn't ask, "How are you?" or "Busy day." He just drove. The silence wasn't awkward, it was heavy but peaceful. Sarah watched the city lights blur by. For the first time all day, her mind quieted down. When they arrived, Sarah didn't just open the door and leave. She caught David's eye in the rearview mirror. She raised her hand to her chin and pulled it away. The American Sign Language sign for "thank you." David's face lit up. His eyes crinkled with pure joy. He signed back, "Have a good night." Lesson. Communication isn't just about words. In fact, words often get in the way. Empathy is a universal language. You don't need a voice to speak to someone's heart. You just need to be present. Story 14. The Wrong Number. This is a story that became an American legend because it is so simple yet so rare. It was 2 days before Thanksgiving. A grandmother in Arizona sent a text message to her grandson. Thanksgiving dinner is at 3:01 p.m. Can't wait to see you. But she typed the wrong number. The text went to Jamal, a 17-year-old high school student she had never met. Jamal replied, "Who is this?" Grandma replied, "It's your grandma." Jamal sent a selfie. "Grandma, can I see a picture?" She sent a picture of herself, a white lady with glasses. Jamal sent back, "You're not my grandma, but can I still come get a plate?" Most people would have stopped there. "Sorry, wrong number. Block. Delete." But she replied, "Of course you can. That's what grandmas do, feed everyone." Jamal went. He met her family. They laughed, ate turkey, and connected. That was 6 years ago. Jamal has attended every Thanksgiving since. Even after the grandmother's husband passed away, Jamal was there to support her. Lesson. We defined family by blood, by last names, by DNA. But true family is defined by who you welcome to your table. The door to your heart should have a handle on the outside, not a lock on the inside. Story 15. The Bully's Lunch. Middle school can be a war zone. There was a boy named Leo who was being bullied by a bigger kid named Marcus. Marcus would shove Leo into lockers and make fun of his old sneakers. Leo hated Marcus. He wanted revenge. One day in the cafeteria, Leo noticed something. While everyone else was eating pizza and burgers, Marcus was sitting alone at an empty table. He had no tray, no lunchbox. He was just drinking water. Leo realized he's hungry. Leo walked over. His hands were shaking. He sat down across from his tormentor. He took his sandwich, tore it in half, and slid it across the table. "I'm not that hungry," Leo lied. Marcus looked at him confused. Then he looked at the sandwich. He ate it in 3 bites. Marcus never pushed Leo again. In fact, the next week, when another kid tried to mess with Leo, Marcus stepped in and said, "Back off." Lesson. Abraham Lincoln once said, "Do I not destroy my enemies when I make them my friends?" Hurt people, but healed people heal people. Sometimes the best way to win a fight is to refuse to throw a punch and instead extend a hand. Story 16. The Dad in the Dress. What does it mean to be a man? Picture a burly construction worker. Let's call him Mike. Mike loves football, trucks, and power tools. Mike is also a single dad. His wife passed away when his daughter Lily was 3. One Saturday, Lily had a tea party. She invited all her stuffed animals. She told Mike, "Daddy, you have to come, but the dress code is princess." Mike looked at his jeans. He looked at his daughter's hopeful eyes. Mike went to the closet. He found an old Halloween costume, a pink tutu and a plastic tiara. It didn't fit. He looked ridiculous. He put it on anyway. He sat in the tiny chair, sipping imaginary tea with his pinky up. A neighbor came by, looked through the window, and laughed. "Mike, you lost a bet?" Mike didn't laugh. He said, "No. Her mom isn't here to be the princess, so I have to be the queen." Lesson. Masculinity isn't about being tough. It's about being there. Love is about doing the things that make you feel uncomfortable because they make someone else feel safe. Real strength is wearing the tutu. Story 17. The Dog in the Rain. Jennifer was on a first date with a wealthy banker. He picked her up in a brand new Porsche. He was handsome, charming, and rich. He talked about his summer house in the Hamptons. Jennifer was impressed. Suddenly a thunderstorm broke. Rain poured down. As they drove, Jennifer saw a stray dog limping on the side of the highway, soaked and shivering. "Oh no, look at that poor thing," she said. The banker didn't slow down. "Someone will call animal control," he said. "I just got this car detailed. I can't have a wet dog in here. The leather is Italian." Jennifer looked at him. She looked at the leather seats. She looked at the dog fading in the rearview mirror. "Stop the car," she said. She got out in the rain. She walked back to the dog. She called an Uber. She took the dirty, wet dog home. She blocked the banker's number. She married the Uber driver who helped her lift the dog into his back seat. Lesson. It's a simple test. You can tell everything you need to know about a person by how they treat the helpless, waiters, janitors, and animals. If they value their Italian leather more than a living soul, let them drive away. You walk. Story 18. The Walmart Greeter. In America, walking into a Walmart usually means seeing an elderly person at the door saying, "Welcome to Walmart." There was a man named George. He was 85. His legs hurt constantly. Standing for 8 hours was agony. Yet George smiled at every single person. He gave high fives to kids. He complimented people's shoes. A customer once asked him, "George, why don't you retire? Why are you standing here in pain?" George's smile faded for a second. He said, "My wife died 5 years ago. My kids live in another state and never call. My house is silent. If I stay home, I will die of loneliness. When I come here, people look me in the eye. For 8 hours a day, I exist." Lesson. Loneliness is the silent epidemic of our time. We warehouse our elderly and forget our neighbors. For you, it's just a grocery run. For them, that brief hello might be the only human connection they have all day. In a world that ignores the elderly, be the person who stops. Acknowledgement is the greatest form of charity. Story 19. The Soldier's Seat. Respect isn't a hashtag, it's an action. It was a packed flight from Atlanta to San Diego. In the boarding area, a young man in army fatigue sat waiting. He looked exhausted. He was holding a duffel bag, staring at the floor, probably heading home for leave or heading out to deployment. When they started boarding, the soldier lined up in Zone 4 Economy. Just then, a man in a bespoke suit holding a Toomey briefcase walked up to the gate agent. He handed over his boarding pass, Seat 1A, First Class. He pointed at the soldier and whispered something to the agent. The agent called the soldier over. The soldier looked worried, thinking there was a problem with his ticket. The man in the suit smiled, handed the soldier his first-class boarding pass, and took the soldier's economy ticket. "You take the big seat, son," the man said. "You stand on a wall for us. The least I can do is let you sit in a comfortable chair." The businessman walked to the back of the plane, sat in the middle seat of row 32, and didn't say a word about it to anyone else. Lesson. We often talk about supporting our troops or supporting our community with social media posts, but real gratitude costs you something. It costs you your comfort. If you are blessed, build a longer table, not a taller fence. Story 20. The Storm and the Fence. Speaking of fences, let's talk about the barriers we build. In a suburb in Oklahoma, there were two neighbors, Mr. Smith and Mr. Garcia. They hated each other. For 5 years, they fought over the property line. Mr. Smith complained about Mr. Garcia's music. Mr. Garcia complained about Mr. Smith's dog. They built a tall wooden fence between their houses so they wouldn't have to look at each other. Then a tornado siren wailed. The sky turned green. The storm ripped through the neighborhood. When the sun came up the next morning, the fence was gone. It was splintered wood scattered across both yards. Mr. Smith's roof had a hole in it. Mr. Garcia's car was crushed by a tree. Without saying a word, Mr. Smith grabbed his chainsaw and walked over to Mr. Garcia's car to cut the tree. Without saying a word, Mr. Garcia grabbed his tarp and ladder and went to cover Mr. Smith's roof. They worked side by side for 3 days. They shared water. They shared generators. They shared food. When the insurance money came, they didn't rebuild the fence. Lesson: it is a tragedy of human nature that we wait for disaster to remember our humanity. We let petty grievances divide us until the wind blows the walls down. Don't wait for the storm to introduce you to your neighbor. Tear down the fence yourself. Story 21. The Glass of Water. A psychology professor walked around on a stage while teaching stress management principles to an auditorium filled with high achievers. She raised a glass of water. Everyone expected the old half-empty or half-full question. Instead, she asked, "How heavy is this glass of water?" Answers shouted out ranged from 8 ounces to 20 ounces. She smiled and said, "The absolute weight doesn't matter. It depends on how long I hold it. If I hold it for a minute, it's not a problem. If I hold it for an hour, I'll have an ache in my arm. If I hold it for a day, my arm will feel numb and paralyzed. In each case, the weight of the glass doesn't change, but the longer I hold it, the heavier it becomes." She looked at the students. Your stresses and worries are like this glass of water. Think about them for a little while and nothing happens. Think about them all day long and you will feel paralyzed, incapable of doing anything. Lesson: you cannot solve a problem by dwelling on it. You cannot fix the past by replaying it. The strongest thing you can do sometimes is not to push harder, but to simply put the glass down. Rest is not a reward for success, it is a prerequisite for it. Story 22. The Social Media Couple. Let's go to a high-end restaurant in Los Angeles. The lighting is perfect. The view is breathtaking. At the best table by the window sits a stunning couple. They look like movie stars. They order the most expensive champagne. For 20 minutes they pose. They take selfies. They arrange the food to look aesthetic. They check the lighting. Finally, the man posts the photo on Instagram with the caption, "Anniversary dinner with my soulmate. So blessed. Love of my life." He puts the phone down. The woman puts her phone down. And then, silence. They don't speak. They don't touch. They stare out the window. They eat quickly, looking bored. As soon as the check comes, they leave, walking 3 feet apart. Meanwhile, at a table near the kitchen, an older couple is eating burgers. They are laughing so hard the woman snorts. They have no phones on the table. No one knows they are there. Lesson: we have confused documentation with living. We have confused the image of success with the feeling of success. Comparison is the thief of joy. Don't envy the highlight reel you see online. You never know what's happening in the deleted scenes. Live a life that feels good on the inside, not just one that looks good on the outside. Welcome to part 3. We live in a culture that celebrates the hustle but ignores the healing. We are told to be perfect parents, perfect employees, and perfect partners, but perfection is a heavy shield to carry. It weighs us down, it isolates us. These next stories are about putting that shield down. They are about forgiveness, boundaries, and the realization that you are enough just as you are. Story 23, The Golden Repair. In a modern art studio in Seattle, a woman named Elena accidentally knocked over a vase. It was an antique, a gift from her late grandmother. It shattered into 20 pieces. Elena fell to her knees, crying. She grabbed a trash bag, ready to throw the shards away, feeling like she had destroyed her family history. Her friend, an artist named Kenji, stopped her hand. "Don't throw it away," he said. "Give it to me." A week later, Kenji returned the vase. But it looked different. He had glued the pieces back together, but he hadn't tried to hide the cracks. Instead, he had filled every crack with gold lacquer. The vase now had veins of gold running through it, illuminating its history. "It's called kintsugi," Kenji explained. "In Japan, we believe that when something has suffered damage and has a history, it becomes more beautiful, not less." Lesson. We are all broken vases. We have scars from heartbreak, failure, and loss. Don't try to paint over your cracks. Don't hide them. Your scars are not your shame. They are your story. They are the gold that holds you together. Story 24, The Complete Sentence. Lisa was a graphic designer at a top ad agency in New York. She was talented, but she was drowning. She worked 60 hours a week because she was terrified of disappointing anyone. One Friday at 4 p.m., her boss, a man used to getting his way, walked to her desk. "Lisa, I need you to mock up these 3 logos for the client by Monday morning. It's urgent." Lisa's heart raced. She had plans to visit her parents for the first time in 6 months. Her instinct was to say, "Okay, I'll try," and cancel her trip. Instead, she took a deep breath. She looked him in the eye and said, "No." She didn't say, "No, because I have plans." She didn't say, "No, I'm sorry." She just said, "No." The silence in the office was deafening. Her boss blinked. He waited for the excuse. It didn't come. Finally, he nodded. "Okay, we'll ask Dave." And he walked away. The world didn't end. She wasn't fired. Lesson. No is a complete sentence. You do not owe anyone an explanation for your boundaries. Every time you say yes to something you hate, you are saying no to yourself. Story 25. The Heavy Backpack. A man went hiking in the Colorado Rockies. He hired a guide to help him reach the summit. As they started, the man was struggling. He was sweating, panting, and lagging behind. The guide stopped and pointed at the man's massive backpack. "What is in there?" "Just essentials," the man said. The guide opened the bag. He pulled out a large rock. "What is this?" "That represents the business partner who cheated me 10 years ago," the man said. "I carry the anger so I never forget." The guide pulled out another rock. "And this? That's my ex-wife. She broke my heart." The bag was full of rocks, grudges, regrets, failures. The guide dumped the bag on the ground. "You can climb this mountain," he said. "But you cannot climb it carrying all of that. You have to choose, the rocks or the summit." Lesson. Forgiveness isn't something you do for the person who hurt you. It's something you do for yourself. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Put the backpack down. Story 26. The Perfect Mom. Sarah was a Pinterest mom, or at least she tried to be. She wanted everything to be perfect for her son's 7th birthday party. She planned to bake custom dinosaur cookies from scratch, but life happened. Her work ran late, the oven broke, The icing melted. At 2 a.m., facing a tray of burnt, ugly cookies, Sarah sat on the kitchen floor and wept. She felt like a failure. The next morning, she went to the grocery store and bought a plastic container of cheap store-brand cookies. She put them on a plate, feeling guilty. During the party, her son ran up to her, mouth full of cheap cookies, hugging her legs. "Mom, this is the best party ever. Did you see me on the slide?" He didn't care about the cookies. He cared that she was watching him on the slide. Lesson: we kill ourselves trying to curate a perfect life for the people we love, forgetting that what they really want is us. To the world, you may be imperfect, but to your child, you are the world. Presence beats perfection every time. Story 27, The Two Wolves. This is a story often told in American leadership seminars, adapted from Native American folklore. An old Cherokee chief was teaching his grandson about life. "A fight is going on inside me," he said to the boy. "It is a terrible fight, and it is between two wolves. One is evil. He has anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego." He continued, "The other is good. He is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. The same fight is going on inside you and inside every other person too." The grandson thought about it for a minute and then asked his grandfather, "Which wolf will win?" The old Cherokee simply replied, "The one you feed." Lesson: your mind is a garden. Thoughts are the seeds. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds. Mindset isn't an accident. It's a daily choice of what you pay attention to. Story 28, The Panic Attack. Mark was a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. He was known as the Iron Man. He never cracked under pressure until one Tuesday at O'Hare Airport. The stress of a merger, a divorce, and lack of sleep hit him all at once. His chest tightened. The room spun. He collapsed onto a bench, gasping for air, convinced he was dying. He was having a panic attack. People walked by, staring, afraid to approach the man in the expensive suit. Then a 7-year-old girl broke away from her mother. She walked up to Mark. She put her small hand on his shaking knee. She didn't ask what was wrong. She just said, "Breathe with me, in like a flower, out like a candle." Mark looked into her calm eyes. He breathed in. He breathed out. 10 minutes later, the Iron Man was crying, and the little girl was handing him a tissue. Lesson: it is okay not to be okay. Even the strongest among us break. Vulnerability is not weakness. It is the ultimate proof of our humanity. And sometimes, help comes in the smallest packages. Story 29, The Ferrari. Jason grew up poor. He promised himself that one day he would buy a red Ferrari. For 20 years, he worked 80-hour weeks. He missed birthdays, he lost friends, he sacrificed his health. Finally, at age 45, he wrote the check. He drove the Ferrari off the lot. The engine roared. He felt like a king. He drove it to his empty mansion. He parked it in the garage. He sat in the driver's seat smelling the leather, and then a terrifying feeling washed over him. He felt exactly the same as he did in his Honda Civic. The car had changed, but the man inside hadn't. The sadness was still there, just sitting in a more expensive seat. Lesson: we are taught that happiness is a destination, something we buy, achieve, or drive. But external things cannot fix internal problems. If you aren't happy without the Ferrari, you won't be happy with it. Happiness is an inside job. Story 30. The 5-Minute Rule. Emily suffered from severe depression and anxiety. Her apartment was a mess, dishes piled up, laundry everywhere. It felt overwhelming, like climbing Everest. She went to a therapist and said, "I can't do it, it's too much." The therapist gave her one rule, the 5-minute rule. "Don't clean the house," the therapist said. "Just do something that takes less than 5 minutes. Can you wash one fork? Can you pick up one shirt?" Emily went home. She saw a fork. "I can do that," she thought. She washed it. It felt good. Then she washed a plate. Then she wiped the counter. Before she knew it, an hour had passed and the kitchen was clean. Lesson. The hardest part of any journey is the first step. Anxiety feeds on inaction. Action is the antidote. Don't look at the mountain, look at the rock right in front of your foot. Just take 5 minutes. We've cleaned the house, calmed the mind, and healed the heart. But we cannot stay inside forever. In the next part, we step out into the wider world. We will explore modern fables, stories that take familiar concepts and twist them to reveal the hidden truths of our society. This is the American Chronicles. I'll see you in part 4. Welcome to part 4. Sometimes the best way to see reality is through a story about something else entirely. We are going to look at nature, at crabs, frogs, and elephants to understand the strange behaviors of the most complex animal of all, humans. These are fables for the modern age. Story 31. The Crab Bucket. If you go crabbing on a pier, you don't need a lid for your bucket. Why? Because of a strange phenomenon called the crab mentality. If one crab tries to climb out of the bucket to freedom, the other crabs won't just watch it go. They will reach up, grab its legs, and pull it back down. If it keeps trying, they will even break its claws. They aren't malicious, they are just panicked. They fear separation. If I can't have it, neither can you. Lesson. Look at your circle of friends or colleagues. When you try to level up, when you try to quit drinking, start a business, or get fit, do they cheer you on? Or do they make fun of you and try to pull you back down to their level? If you want to grow, you might need to get out of the bucket. Story 32. The Boiling Frog. This is a cautionary tale for the corporate world. If you drop a frog into a pot of boiling water, it will instinctively jump out immediately to save its life. But if you put a frog in a pot of cool water and slowly, very slowly turn up the heat, the frog will relax. It will adjust its body temperature to match the water. It will stay comfortable. It won't realize the danger until the water is boiling and it is too weak to jump. It boils to death while swimming in comfort. Lesson. Be careful of toxic environments, bad jobs, bad relationships that slowly drain you. A little disrespect here, a little compromise there. You adjust, you adapt, and before you know it, your soul is dead. Don't get comfortable in a pot that is killing you. Jump. Story 33. The Lion Raised by Sheep. A lion cub was separated from his pride and found by a flock of sheep. The sheep raised him. The lion grew up believing he was a sheep. He ate grass. He bleated baa. He was terrified of wolves. He was a king, living as prey. One day, an older lion stood on a hill and roared. The sheep scattered in fear. The young lion froze. The older lion ran down, grabbed him, and dragged him to a pond. "Look!" the old lion roared. "Look at your reflection!" The young lion looked. He didn't see a sheep. He saw a mane, he saw claws, he saw a king. He opened his mouth to bleat, but instead a mighty roar came out. He never ate grass again. Lesson: many of us are lions living as sheep because of how we were raised or who we surround ourselves with. We play small. We fit in. Don't let your environment define your identity. Look in the mirror. Roar. Story 34. The Elephant Rope. A man was walking through an elephant camp. He saw a massive 5-ton elephant tied to a small wooden stake by a flimsy rope. The man was confused. That elephant could snap that rope like a thread. Why doesn't he break free? The trainer explained. When he was a baby, we used the same rope. Back then, he was too small to break it. He pulled and pulled, but he failed. He learned that the rope was stronger than him. Now that he is a giant, he still believes the rope is stronger. He doesn't even try. Lesson: we all have elephant ropes in our minds, limiting beliefs from our childhood. I'm not good at math. I'm not creative. I can't lead. These are lies from the past holding back your massive potential in the present. Snap the rope. Story 35. The Fisherman and the Banker. An American investment banker was at the pier of a small coastal Mexican village. A small boat with just one fisherman docked. Inside were several large yellowfin tuna. The banker complimented the Mexican on the quality of his fish and asked how long it took to catch them. "Only a little while," the fisherman replied. "Why don't you stay out longer and catch more fish?" the banker asked. "I have enough to feed my family and give a few to friends," the fisherman said. "But what do you do with the rest of your time?" The fisherman smiled. "I sleep late, fish a little, play with my children, take a siesta with my wife, stroll into the village each evening where I sip wine and play guitar with my amigos. I have a full and busy life," the banker scoffed. "I am a Harvard MBA and could help you. You should spend more time fishing. You could buy a bigger boat, then a fleet. You could open your own cannery. You would make millions." "Then what?" asked the fisherman. "Then you would retire, move to a small coastal fishing village where you would sleep late, fish a little, play with your grandkids, take a siesta with your wife, and play guitar with your friends." The fisherman looked at the banker and said, "Am I not doing that right now?" Lesson: don't work so hard for a life you already have. Know your definition of success before you spend your life chasing someone else's. Story 36. The Donkey in the Well. One day, a farmer's donkey fell into an abandoned well. The animal cried piteously for hours. The farmer couldn't figure out how to get him out. Finally, he decided the animal was old, and the well needed to be covered up anyway. It wasn't worth it to retrieve the donkey. He invited his neighbors to help him shovel dirt into the well to bury the donkey. At first, the donkey realized what was happening and cried horribly. Then suddenly he went quiet. The farmer looked down. He was astonished. With every shovel of dirt that hit his back, the donkey was doing something amazing. He would shake it off and step up. As the pile of dirt grew, the donkey stepped higher. Soon, everyone was amazed as the donkey stepped up over the edge of the well and happily trotted off. Lesson: life is going to shovel dirt on you. The trick to getting out of the well is to not let it bury you. Shake it off and take a step up. Your greatest adversities can become your greatest stepping stones. Story 37. The Starfish. A terrible storm washed thousands of starfish onto the beach. The sun was coming up and they were all going to die. An old man was walking down the beach and saw a young boy picking up starfish one by one and throwing them back into the ocean. The old man laughed. "Son, there are miles of beach and thousands of starfish. You can't possibly make a difference." The boy bent down, picked up another starfish, and threw it past the breaking waves. He looked at the old man and said, "It made a difference to that one." Lesson: we often become paralyzed by the scale of the world's problems. I can't fix poverty. I can't fix the climate. So we do nothing. But you don't have to save the world. You just have to save the part of it within your reach. Do for one what you wish you could do for everyone. Story 38. The carrot, the egg, and the coffee. A young woman complained to her father that her life was miserable. Her father, a chef, took her to the kitchen. He filled 3 pots with water and placed them on the fire. In one he placed carrots. In the second, he placed eggs. In the third, he placed ground coffee beans. He let them boil. 20 minutes later, he took them out. The carrot, he said, went in strong and hard, but after the boiling water it became soft and weak. The egg went in fragile. Its thin shell protected its liquid interior, but after the boiling water it became hardened inside. But the coffee beans, they were unique. After they were in the boiling water, they changed the water. Lesson: adversity is the boiling water. When it hits, who are you? Are you the carrot that breaks? Are you the egg that becomes bitter and hard? Or are you the coffee bean? Do you change the situation around you? Be the coffee. Story 39. The butterfly. A man found a cocoon of a butterfly. One day a small opening appeared. He sat and watched the butterfly for several hours as it struggled to force its body through that little hole. Then it seemed to stop making any progress. It appeared as if it had gotten as far as it could and could go no further. So the man decided to help the butterfly. He took a pair of scissors and snipped off the remaining bit of the cocoon. The butterfly then emerged easily. But it had a swollen body and small, shriveled wings. The man continued to watch, expecting the wings to expand. They never did. The butterfly spent the rest of its life crawling around with a swollen body and shriveled wings. It never flew. What the man didn't understand was that the restricting cocoon and the struggle required were nature's way of forcing fluid from the body into the wings so that it would be ready for flight. Lesson: sometimes struggles are exactly what we need in our life. If we went through life without any obstacles, we would be crippled. We would not be as strong as what we could have been. And we could never fly. Story 40. The Two Shoemakers. This is a story about vision. 2 shoe salesmen were sent to a poverty-stricken region in Africa in the 1900s to assess the market. The first salesman sent a telegram back to Manchester. "Situation hopeless. Stop. No one wears shoes here. Stop. Returning home immediately." The second salesman sent a telegram back. "Glorious opportunity. Stop. No one has shoes yet. Stop. Send 50,000 pairs immediately." Lesson: the world is not what it is. The world is what we see. Pessimists see a problem in every opportunity. Optimists see an opportunity in every problem. Clean your lens and you will change your life. We have learned from the animals and the salesmen. We have seen that mindset is everything. In the final part of our journey, we will look at wisdom and the twist endings. Stories that challenge our logic and leave us with a question that might just keep us awake tonight. This is the American Chronicles. I'll see you in part 5. Welcome to the finale. We have journeyed through ambition, connection, healing, and modern fables. Now we arrive at wisdom. Wisdom isn't about knowing everything. It's about seeing the same world as everyone else, but noticing something different. It's about the twist endings. It's about realizing that the map is not the territory, and that the only thing we truly possess is this very moment. Here are the final stories. Story 41, The Traffic Jam. It was 5 p.m. on a Friday in Los Angeles. The 405 freeway was a parking lot. In a blue Toyota, a man was screaming. He pounded the steering wheel. His blood pressure was skyrocketing. He was thinking, I'm wasting my life. This city is hell. In the red Honda next to him, another man sat in the exact same traffic, but he was smiling. He was listening to an audiobook, learning Spanish. He was thinking, I finally have an hour to myself to learn. The event, the traffic, was identical. The experience was opposite. Lesson: stress is not determined by your circumstances. It is determined by your reaction to them. You cannot control the traffic, but you can always control the radio station in your mind. Story 42, The Lottery Winner. In 2002, a man named Jack won $315 million in the Powerball lottery. It was the American dream come true. He bought mansions. He bought cars for strangers. He lived like a king. 5 years later, Jack was broke. His granddaughter had died of a drug overdose funded by his money. His wife had left him. He had been robbed multiple times. He told a reporter, I wish I had torn that ticket up. Lesson: money is a magnifying glass. If you are unhappy and broke, you will be unhappy and rich, just with more expensive distractions. If you don't have peace before the payday, you won't have it after. Story 43, The 10-Year Goal. A Silicon Valley mentor sat down with a young, ambitious entrepreneur. What is your 10-year goal? The mentor asked. The entrepreneur listed his big dreams. I want to launch this app, get 1 million users, and IPO. The mentor nodded and asked a question that changed the young man's life. Why can't you do it in 6 months? The entrepreneur was shocked. That's impossible. Is it? The mentor asked. Or is it just that you gave yourself 10 years? So you are pacing yourself for 10 years? Lesson: Parkinson's law states that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. The only speed limit is the one in your mind. Stop waiting. Story 44, The Old Man's Regret. Bronnie Ware was a palliative care nurse who spent years caring for people in the last 12 weeks of their lives. She asked them all one question. What is your biggest regret? It wasn't, I wish I made more money. It wasn't, I wish I bought a bigger house. The number one regret stated by almost every single man was, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Lesson: disappoint your boss, disappoint your parents, disappoint your neighbors, but never ever disappoint yourself. You are the one who has to die your death. So you must be the one to live your life. Story 45, The Dash. A man stood at a funeral looking at the tombstone of his best friend. It read, 1950, 20-20. He pointed to the dates and said, it doesn't matter what year he was born. It doesn't matter what year he died. Those are just bookends. The only thing that matters is that little dash in between. Lesson: that dash represents every morning you woke up, every person you loved, every risk you took. We spend so much time worrying about the dates, aging and dying, that we forget to live the dash. Make it count. Story 46, The Mirror. A stray dog ran into an abandoned museum called the Hall of Mirrors. He walked into a room and saw 1,000 dogs. He was terrified. He growled. Suddenly, 1,000 dogs growled back. He barked aggressively. 1,000 dogs barked back. He ran away, convinced the world was full of hostile dogs. Later, a golden retriever walked into the same room. He saw 1,000 dogs. He wagged his tail. 1,000 dogs wagged back. He smiled. 1,000 dogs smiled back. He left, convinced the world was a friendly place. Lesson: the world is a neutral place. It is a mirror. If you walk around looking for a fight, you will find one. If you walk around looking for a friend, you will find one. You get back what you project. Story 47. The Empty Boat. A monk was meditating in a small boat in the middle of a lake. He had his eyes closed. Suddenly, another boat hit his, rocking him violently. Anger rose in his chest. He opened his eyes, ready to scream at the careless boatman who disturbed his peace. But when he looked, he saw the other boat was empty. It had just drifted downstream and bumped into him. His anger vanished instantly. There was no one to be angry at. Lesson: when someone cuts you off in traffic or insults you or hurts you, and remember, it is just an empty boat. So they are driven by their own currents, their own pain, their own blindness. Don't take it personally. Story 48. The Resume. A hiring manager at a top tech firm received a resume. Under experience, it listed failures. 2015, launched a startup, failed, lost $50K. 2017, managed a project, missed deadline, fired. 2019, tried to write a book, rejected by 20 publishers. At the bottom, the candidate wrote, "I have survived all of this. I have learned what doesn't work. I have no ego left to bruise. I am ready to win." He was hired on the spot. Lesson: success is built on a mountain of failures. Don't hide your scars, they are your credentials. Story 49. The Tip. A waiter served a rude table of 4. They complained about the food, snapped their fingers, and made a mess. The waiter kept smiling. He was polite, efficient, and graceful. At the end of the meal, they left him a $0 tip. As they walked out, one man from the table lingered behind. He handed the waiter a business card. "I'm the VP of sales for a large company," he said. "My friends are idiots, but I watched you. You kept your cool when you had every right to lose it. I want to hire you. Call me." The waiter is now a regional manager. Lesson: character is who you are when the customer isn't right. Always do your best. Even when the reward isn't obvious, someone is always watching. Story 50. The Divorce Party. Tom and Sarah sent out invitations for a party. Friends were confused. The card read, "The end of an era, the start of a friendship." It was a divorce party. At the party, they gave a toast. "We realized we aren't great partners, but we are great parents. We aren't failing, we are evolving. We are celebrating 10 years of memories and a future as best friends." Lesson: endings don't have to be tragic. We cling to things because we fear change. But sometimes letting go with love is the ultimate act of success. Story 51. The Homeless Man's Dog. A passerby saw a homeless man sitting on a sidewalk with a dog. The passerby bought a sandwich and handed it to the man. The man didn't take a bite. He immediately broke the meat and cheese out of the sandwich and fed it to his dog. He ate only the dry bread. The passerby asked, "Why did you give him the best part?" The homeless man smiled. "Because he didn't leave me when everyone else did." Lesson: loyalty is rare. If you find it, cherish it. and true generosity is giving when you have almost nothing to give. Story 52. The map versus the territory. A platoon of soldiers was lost in the Alps during a snowstorm. They were freezing and panicked. One soldier found a map in his pocket. "I have a map!" he yelled. Calmed by the map, they formulated a plan, marched confidently, and found their way back to base. When they arrived, the commander looked at the map. He turned pale. "This isn't a map of the Alps," he said. "This is a map of the Pyrenees." Lesson: the map was wrong, but it saved them. Why? Because it gave them the confidence to take action. In life, any plan is better than no plan. Action cures fear. Don't wait for the perfect map, just march. Story 53. The Two Gardeners. Two neighbors planted the same type of tree. One neighbor watered his tree every single day. It grew lush and green. The other neighbor watered his tree only once a week. It grew slower. Then a massive storm came. The first tree, the lush one, was ripped out of the ground. The second tree stood firm. Why? Because the first tree had it too easy. Its roots stayed near the surface, waiting for the water. The second tree, thirsty, had to send its roots deep into the earth to find moisture. Those deep roots saved it. Lesson: don't pray for an easy life. Pray for deep roots. Struggle is what anchors you when the storm comes. Story 54. The last time a father carried his 4-year-old son to bed. He groaned as he lifted him. "You're getting heavy, buddy," he said. He tucked him in, kissed his forehead, and left the room. He didn't know it, but that was the last time he would ever pick his son up. The next day, the boy would be just a little too big or would want to walk himself. The era of being carried had ended, and the father missed the moment because he was thinking about his back pain. Lesson: there is a last time for everything in your life. The last time you play with your dog. The last time you see your parents. The last time you pick up your child. Treat every moment like it's the last time. One day, it will be. Story 55. The King's Shoes. Once upon a time, a king ruled a land where the ground was covered in jagged rocks. His feet hurt every time he walked. He ordered his advisors, "Cover the entire kingdom in leather. I want soft ground everywhere." His advisors panicked. "Sire, that would cost a fortune. It would require millions of cows. It is impossible." The court jester raised his hand. "Your Highness, why not just cut 2 small pieces of leather and wrap them around your feet?" And so, shoes were invented. Lesson: you cannot carpet the whole world. It is easier to wear slippers. You cannot change how the world treats you. You can only change how you tread upon the world. Change yourself and the world changes with you. 55 stories, 55 perspectives. We started with a $100 hamburger and ended with a pair of shoes. If you take one thing from this collection, let it be this: life is not happening to you. Life is responding to you. The stories you tell yourself become the reality you live. So tell better stories. Be the intern with the idea. Be the dad in the tutu. Be the coffee bean in the boiling water. This is your life, and the pen has been in your hand the whole time. Write a good one.